Next, from food, we turn our thoughts to a murder, a mystery, the miners' strike, and a mysterious 9-year-old as well. It's all part and parcel of the brand new thriller from Berwick-based writer Bea Davenport. In fact, This Little Piggy is her third book. And this morning, Bea popped into our studios here at BBC Newcastle, and I asked her, when she begins a new book, where does she start? I mean, is it an idea, a plot, a character? What exactly provides the initial spark?
Usually the story comes first, and that's not a popular thing for writers to say. They like to say, oh, the characters arrive first. But actually, with me, it tends to be that, there's a germ of an idea for a story, and then I will mull it over for a long time and wait, and the right people will kind of come into my head to tell the story. So that's how it tends to happen.
You say the right people. Do you ever take from real life, or are they always completely 100% fictitious?
Well, I think that, any writer will say, yes, they're all fictional characters, and they are. But it would be true to say that, you might find a shred of somebody real in there if you look hard enough. But the skill of the writer is to make that person real, but, by using their experience and people that they've met, but making them fictional enough so that they're not real people anymore.
Now, this plot, when you get the plot in your head, the story, you know who the characters are, do you bounce it off anybody? Do you sit down and say, what do you make of this? Or are you so sure right from the beginning, actually, no, let's just go with this and see how many pages I can bash out? How does it work?
I'm actually a little bit secretive about it. So, no, I tend to start writing first and see if it works. And I'll only bounce it off somebody if I really hit a problem. And I'm thinking, I want this to happen and I can't see how it's going to happen, or something like that. So then I might bounce it off somebody. But usually I'll keep it to myself right until I've got the end of a first draft done.
Ooh, I like the idea of that. Nobody can have a look just yet. This new book of yours, set in the 1980s, the miners' strike, people are maybe going to go, oh, what is this about? It's going to be dark, it's going to be dreary, it's going to be grey, it's going to be all full of violence. Would those assumptions be right?
Pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. Good, gritty stuff.
I have to say there are not a lot of laughs in it. It is set in 1984. The miners' strike is going on in the background, although it's not the main story. It centres around the death of a child. So, no, it's, there are some very dark themes in there. And I was a journalist in 1984, and I remember what it was like, and I remember reporting the miners' strike. And I also remember, other things about it, the unemployment, the hopelessness, what a difficult time it was. So I hope I've reflected that. The main character is Claire. She's a journalist, and she is following the police investigation into the death of a baby. As she does that, she befriends a little girl called Amy, and it's clear that Amy knows something about the death of this baby that she's really not saying. And that's about as far as I can go, I think, without giving too much away.
It's quite unsettling, though, isn't it? It's an uncomfortable read, some parts. You kind of go, oh, dear, because children are involved.
It is uncomfortable, yes. I think that's probably true. But I also hope that people will actually warm to the characters. Claire's a very brittle character, but I think her heart is in the right place. And Amy too, she's very, very needy, and I think you have to feel something for her. I did when I was writing about her.
Is it the job of you as the author to make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, unsettled, draw us in, suck us in, and make the book part of our lives for however long it takes us to get from beginning to end? Is that the real trick of it, being an author?
Well, I mean, I hope that's what I can do. It's what you would aspire to do as an author. So I do really hope that is what I've done.
It's not always easily said, though, and done, though, is it? I mean, some books I can read halfway through and think, I could care less about finishing this. Your books seem to have the opposite effect. You do get sucked into a different world, and you can't wait to pick it back up again.
Oh, that's really kind of you to say. And I if a reader says that to me, then my day's been made, really.
Do you have any kind of interface with your readers? Are you available a lot on Twitter or something like that? Do you ever get, I would say, the good with the bad, because that's what Twitter and things like that is about? Do you like that?
I do, actually. I absolutely love it, and I'm a complete convert, because I think when I first started writing I was really shy of things like social media, but now I tweet a lot, I'm on Facebook, I have a blog and a website, and yeah, readers do come back to me, and as you say, it's good and bad. Sometimes they say fantastic things and you go, wow, and that really lifts your mood, and then they might be a little bit critical and you kind of think, oh.
Well, you can't please everybody, can you?
Well, you can't, and I think you have to kind of go with what the majority verdict is, and also sometimes, you know, if it doesn't sound, I don't want to sound arrogant, but you have to kind of remind yourself that a publisher with a lot of experience thought it was worth investing in, and believed in it enough to do that for you. So I think sometimes you have to, if you get a poor review or review that you don't like, you have to kind of go, okay, can I learn anything from it? Or is it actually going against the grain of what everybody else is saying?
We've been talking this morning to the Berwick author Bea Davenport about her murder and mystery, and of course the miners' strike as a backset to a mysterious 9-year-old story. The book is called This Little Piggy. It's her third book, and Bea popped along this morning to chat about, well, writing such books. She's already penned a children's book as well, and I wondered what's tougher, writing for kids or writing for adults?
Well, okay, this is probably quite controversial, but actually I find writing for adults much easier and a much smoother path than writing for children. I wrote the children's book as part of a PhD, and so a lot of reflection went into it, and a lot of changes kept going as I was going through. You know, it kept changing and changing. And there were so many considerations to take into account when you're writing for children. You have to think about the language, you have to think about what themes you can use and what can you get away with, and you know, what happens at the end, and is there, you know, enough hope and happiness at the end, that kind of thing. So it's actually an awful lot to think about when you're writing for children, and I do love it, but it is definitely harder.
Will you be doing any more of that? Because The Serpent House went down a storm, didn't it? It got a good reaction.
It did. I was really, really pleased with it, and I would actually really like to write a sequel. Well, actually, I've started writing a sequel to The Serpent House, so I hope that will go forward. And I've also got ideas for more crime too. So,
are you going to be taking this book signing to places that people will know so they can come and see you anytime soon?
Yeah, first place it will be on October the 1st is the launch event, which is going to be at Blackwell's Bookshop in Newcastle, and that's at 6:30 on October the 1st, and anyone's welcome. Come along, have a glass of wine, say hello, have a chocolate pig.
Chocolate pig?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
It's always very nice when you're offered things like that, book signings. Yes, I'm in.
And then after that, I have a series of events actually in Edinburgh and Glasgow with a fellow Legend Press author in early October, but then we're also going to fix up some more events for Newcastle as well.
Do you like that? Do you like the interfacing with the people? It's one thing doing it all online and things like that, but when they actually come and you see their reaction, is that not a bit scary?
It is scary, actually. But then the scariness is all in your head, because once you actually meet people, I find that they're astonishingly generous and polite and kind, and they ask intelligent questions, and they make me think about what I've written, you know, sometimes about aspects of it that I haven't thought of before. So I absolutely love it.
Well, this is very exciting. The book is out very soon. Is this the point where you're about to let go, let it sail away? Is this where the nerves are really building up?
Oh gosh, yes. Yes, absolutely. It's because the first reviews really count. So, you know, if somebody says something negative early on, that can really kind of set you on a downward spiral. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen. At the moment, I mean, I've had, you know, some really nice reviews and some really nice endorsements from other authors as well. So I'm hoping very